I am currently in $133,000 in debt.
I'm 31 years old and I'm $17,000 in credit card debt.
I was hiding over $55,000 worth of credit card debt from my husband.
I don't consider a car loan real debt.
In 2025, debt has become a way of life for millions of Americans. Prices keep going up, but wages, they barely move. From food to rent, survival is getting harder every day.
I am currently in $133,000 in debt. $110,000 of that is strictly just on my camper, my truck, and my baby mama's car. Then I have about $8,000 worth of credit card debt a month out of $20,000, so I don't feel too bad about that because I use my credit cards to pay for most of my bills, and it also helps increase my credit score. I also work in the oil field, so I don't feel too bad, but I just have to make sure that I do continue to do a good job at my work, because if I don't, then I would lose a lot of money or wouldn't have the same amount of income, right? This past year, I was able to take home $110,000, which is not too bad after taxes. I still am waiting for maybe some tax returns. If I was to work all year, I could probably make around $230,000 a year, or maybe even more, depending on what I got myself into and if I actually put in a little bit more time and less family time just this year. But as a content creator, the only reason why I still make these videos is because it's extra change, and I use that TikTok money to, fund my debt and and try to do good things for other people that I do not post about it because I'm not that type of guy. But peace and love, baby. God bless, and y'all take care. Thank you for all the support, by the way.
I was hiding over $55,000 worth of credit card debt from my husband over about a year span. And it wasn't until February of this year that I could no longer take it, and I wanted to sit him down and fully confess to him, because I knew that it was so unfair that he was helping me pay for this debt that he didn't even know about it. So in February, I sat him down, I confessed, and I told him everything. Now, I know you probably have 1,000,001 questions. Please feel free to drop them in the comments, any questions that you have, and I will answer every one of them with 100% honesty and full transparency. I decided to share our journey because not only did I know that it would help me stay accountable, but that I could also hopefully help people that are possibly in the same situation or similar situation that I was in. If you haven't already, please smash that follow button. We are hoping and praying that sharing our journey and sharing our story will help us pay off this debt sooner than we expected.
I have literally bought so much crap over the years that has gotten me into, at my highest, $30,000 of debt that I'm now paying off. And there's a few things that I wish I learned sooner, and maybe this will help you out if you have a spending problem, if you're in debt, if you're trying to get out of debt. I wish someone told me this sooner. I had a moment yesterday where I was like, oh, I just paid off a bunch of debt. Let's go shopping. Let's go get something new. And there's some things that I do need, but I also felt like I needed to treat myself. That I worked so hard, not spending any money over the last couple months that, let's just treat myself. The real treat yourself, though, is paying off the debt. The new treat yourself is to not get in debt, that you have the ability to pay off your balance every single month. The treat yourself is the freedom that you feel in your mind when you're paying off debt. And the amount of overconsumption that I have brought into my life is insane.
So you owe $26,000 on a 2019 Dodge Charger with over 200,000 miles, but they... Hey, how are you? This is Yusuf, Legacy Motorcars?
Doing great, sir. How are you?
Doing good. I'm so sorry I got back. So I know I said one. A lot of people book a time with me to negotiate on their behalf, whether they're buying a new or used car or they want to get advice from me. So sometimes my time just passes by. So I forgive me for that.
No problem, bro. No problem. Already forgiven, sir.
All right. So I know I got some quick notes from you. 2019 Dodge Charger you own, SXT, with over 200,000 miles.
I just spent I just did about $3,500 worth of maintenance work on it.
You haven't making payments because you lost your job. I'm sorry about that. I hope this new year comes with new opportunities and you're able to get back on your feet. So I know it's coming. Offered for you to settle it for $9,000, correct?
Correct.
All right. Kind of give me a little bit of background.
Okay, so my thing was, I settle the $9K the way I clear my credit off of it, or just say, hey, what the heck with it, and just give it back to them.
So here's the thing, right? So there's two things that can happen in the situation. How many months are you behind?
Man, I'm probably about a year and a half.
A year and a half behind. They're still trying to pick it up.
Yeah.
You told them that it's a 2019 Dodge Charger with
Yeah.
200,000 miles.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man! A year and a half. They trying to Repo Man hate you, don't he?
Yeah.
All right, look. I'm just curious, man. What were the terms in the car? Like, can you tell me like your interest rate and what your payment was?
Yeah. So my payment was $635 for 72 months, I believe. Yeah, 72 months. So I bought it brand new
Okay.
in 2019.
Oh, nice. What was your APR back in 2019?
What was what?
What was your interest rate back in 2019?
I think it was like 18%.
18%.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn. I'm 31 years old and I'm $17,000 in credit card debt. Let's see where my money went last week to make sure that we're aligned with our goals to pay off all this debt. Sunday, June 1st, no money came out of my accounts. On Monday, June 2nd, $25 came out for therapy. On Tuesday, June 3rd, no money came out, so that's 2 no spend days. On Wednesday, June 4th, $5.87 came out. I went to a coffee shop with friends and I got a lemonade. I don't drink coffee because I get migraines really easily and coffee is one of those triggers. I also just don't love the taste of coffee unless it's not actually coffee and it's just like a bunch of sugar and syrup. I was really proud of myself. I held back because we went to a bookstore / coffee shop and I was so tempted to buy books there. I didn't. We were practicing intentional spending. I don't need any books. I have a library card. On Thursday, June 5th, $15 came out for my Canvas subscription. $349.78 came out for my student loan payment. And then I spent $347.56 paying off one of my credit cards. That's the credit card that I used to buy our flights for our trip to Texas later this summer. And so paid that one off. I'm just really proud of myself because I used to carry balances on my credit cards literally for all of my 20s. I always had a balance on all of my credit cards. And so it feels really good to be in a place where I'm starting to dip my toes back into using my credit card, but immediately paying them off. On Friday, June 6th, I spent $97.81 paying for my restock of supplements through Thorne, $602.09 paying off one of my credit cards, and then $5.25 paying off some parking. I really don't like driving into the office and I usually take the bus, but I had to drive last Friday and so I ended up paying for my parking. It is so frustrating that my job doesn't cover parking. On Saturday, June 7th, $95 came out for my nails. They're so cute. And then $101.04 came out. I ordered DoorDash with friends and they'll be paying me back so that whole $100 won't be on me alone. So that brought my total spent last week to $1,644.04. Take care. Bye.
I'm in $6,300 worth of credit card debt. I was in $6,500. So $6,300 sounds better than $6,500. I am getting them paid off little by little, and I'm so excited. I'm not using any credit cards the past 2-ish weeks, I guess you'd say, or maybe 3. I'm so excited and proud of myself because if I use them again, it's just gonna add more to it. And the longer it will take to pay them off. So yeah, rather not do that if I can avoid it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Patty. I'm a 26-year-old stay-at-home mom.
So my husband and I are $60,000 in debt. Okay.
Part of the problem. You are.
Let me explain how we got here. So in June of 2022, we had a good amount of savings and decided that our home that we've been living in for a couple years just needed some maintenance and some upgrades. You can see behind me, we live in a very normal house, but there were some things on the outside where our stucco was falling off, so we needed to have that repaired. We had our house painted, we upgraded our bathroom a little bit, and also decided to pay off my husband's private student loan because the interest is not great. And so we had plenty of savings and we decided to just drain those bad boys. We both had really stable jobs. We would be able to squirrel away some money over time and build back up our savings again. 2 weeks later, unexpectedly, I was laid off from my job. And I'm the breadwinner of our household, so it did not go well. I was unemployed for about 7 months. Thank goodness I had social media to keep us afloat for a little bit, but here's the deal. We had to put a lot of stuff on credit card to be able to keep ourselves afloat. So anything that could go on a credit card went on a credit card. And that allowed my husband's income to pay for our mortgage, our car payments, our daycare, things like that. But everything else went on a credit card. We cut back as much as we could, but there's still a lot of expenses. We finally decided to do a debt consolidation loan, and it's about $65,000. And we're gonna try and pay it off. We did a 5-year loan plan, but we're gonna try and pay it off in the next 2 years.
I'm $18,000 in debt, and I'm trying to pay it off before I lose my mind. So this is what I'm doing to pay it off. Let's chat while I do my makeup. So I have $17,956 in debt from a car that I bought. I'm going to pay that off when my boyfriend comes home from deployment and say we get married. I'm not bringing debt into our marriage.
I don't care what anyone says. I don't consider a car loan real debt. There are two things actually I don't consider real debt. Car loan and then medical debt. Car loan is pretty obviously. If you live in America, who doesn't pay a car payment every single month? Maybe a few people here and there, but like most people do. So no, I don't consider that real debt.
At this point, being in debt is not a personal failure. It is just part of surviving in America. The system keeps pushing the cost of living up while wages stay stuck, and people are paying the price with their peace of mind. If you are feeling it too, just know you are not alone.